The desert stretched endless and cruel beneath the sinking sun, each gust of wind carrying heat, grit, and the echo of despair. Eliza stumbled along the narrow path between the canyon walls, her wrists bound in coarse rope that bit deeper with every tug. The outlaw behind her walked with long, unhurried strides, his spurs jingling in rhythm with the crunch of his boots. The air was thick with dust and silence, broken only by her uneven breaths. When she tripped on a loose stone and nearly fell, his hand shot out to steady her. The touch was rough, almost harsh, but there was something restrained about it too, something she couldn't name. "Keep movin'," he muttered, his voice gravelly from years of smoke and whiskey. Eliza turned her head just enough to meet his shadowed gaze. "You don't have to do this," she said, her voice trembling between courage and fear. "Whatever you want, whatever this is, it doesn't have to end this way." The outlaw stopped, the silence between them tightening like a rope around her chest. "Don't tell me what I gotta do," he said. His voice wasn't angry, it was hollow, the voice of a man who'd run out of choices. When she tried to pull back, his grip tightened, and she gasped, "You're hurting me," her words broke the air like glass. His face changed then, a flicker of something human beneath the rough exterior. He turned his head slightly, his jaw clenching as if to trap the words trying to escape. "Force is all I have left," he murmured. The words were quiet, but they carried a weight that pressed against her chest. They walked again until the path ended at a cluster of rocks concealing a small cave. The outlaw pushed the heavy brush aside, motioning her inside. She hesitated, staring into the dark mouth of stone, but he gestured again, softer this time. "It's shelter," he said. "You'll need it before nightfall." Inside, the air was cooler, thick with the scent of old rain and dust. He set down his saddlebag and crouched near the entrance, rifle slung loosely over his shoulder. Eliza sat against the wall, eyes wary. "Who are you?" she finally asked. He didn't look at her. "Cole Maddox," he said simply. That name mean anything. Her breath caught. She'd heard it whispered in town, a name tied to robbery, blood, and bounty. "You're wanted," she whispered. "Yeah," he said, his voice low, "so are you now." She stared, confused. He turned then, meeting her eyes with a look that wasn't cruel, only weary. "They want your brother, Eliza. The sheriff and his men think you know where he's hidden. They'd kill you to find out." She swallowed hard. "So you took me." "I took you," he said, "to keep you alive." Outside, thunder grumbled across the horizon. Inside, two fugitives, one by law, one by circumstance, sat in the fading light, bound not just by rope, but by the weight of everything lost. The rain began as a whisper against the canyon walls, soft and hesitant, then grew steadier until the sound filled the cave like a hymn. Cole sat near the entrance, his silhouette carved in silver by the flickering lightning outside. The rifle rested across his knees, though his grip on it had loosened. His hat brim dripped with water, and his shoulders sagged beneath the weariness of too many nights spent running. Behind him, Eliza stirred, wrapping her arms around herself against the chill. She watched him in silence for a long while, studying the lines of his face, the tension in his jaw, the quiet ache that hung around him like the rain-soaked air. "You don't have to stay awake all night," she said softly, her voice carrying through the hush like a fragile thing. He didn't turn around. "Ain't got much choice," he said, his tone flat. "Folks out there ain't known for knockin' before they shoot." Eliza rose from her corner, the rope around her wrists now loosened from his earlier mercy. "You untied me," she said, half question, half disbelief. Cole shifted slightly. "Didn't sit right," he muttered. "Didn't feel like me." She stepped closer, the flickering firelight brushing her face. "What does feel like you?" He hesitated. "Nothin' anymore, I reckon. Used to be a man could build something, hold on to it. Family, land, peace, now I just hold a gun, and it's always heavy." Lightning flashed, revealing the weary truth in his expression. Eliza sat down beside him, not too close, but near enough that he could feel her warmth. "You think fighting is all you're good for," she said gently. He gave a hollow laugh. "Fightin's all I ever had. When they took my brother, I fought. When they burned my ranch, I fought. When they called me a killer, I didn't argue. I just kept fightin'." Her voice softened even more. "Force is all you have left," she whispered, echoing his words from before. His eyes flicked toward her then, sharp yet sorrowful. "You remember that?" "I remember everything people say when they're hurting," she said. "And you're hurting, Cole." The rain thickened, running down the rock like tears. For a moment, he said nothing, only watched the storm as if searching for forgiveness in it. Then the sound of distant hoofbeats rose through the night, faint but unmistakable. He stiffened instantly, grabbing his rifle. "They found us," he said, his voice turning hard again. Eliza reached for his arm, her hand trembling. "Don't. Please. You don't have to kill again." He froze, torn between instinct and the fragile hope she offered. The hoofbeats grew louder, the shouts of men echoing across the canyon. Cole exhaled slowly and lowered the rifle, his hands shaking. When the riders appeared at the ridge, he stepped out into the rain and dropped his weapon. Lightning lit the sky as Eliza ran to his side, shielding him. "He saved me," she cried. "He's not what you think." And under that storm, Cole Maddox didn't fight. He just lifted his face to the rain, letting it wash the blood and years from his soul.